is WMBF News Today at 5:30.
If Governor Nikki Haley gets her way, she'll fix our roads and cut your taxes. But some are doing the math and saying the numbers, they don't add up. And getting the closest crew to your emergency. That's the goal of a brand new dispatch system here. So how can this technology save your life? We're opening up the user guide.
Your lifestyle is one thing to think about when deciding to buy a home. What else to consider before signing on the dotted line? And right now, we are preparing you for a very cold start. Marla, parents need to bundle up those kids before they head to the bus stop, right?
Most definitely. A heavy coat, a hat, and gloves are in order for this morning. Everybody is stepping outside to temperatures in the 20s. Not the wind chill, the actual temperature in the 20s this morning. 26 in Florence right now, 27 for Darlington, and 27 in Myrtle Beach with 25 along the North Strand. So very cold. The winds are light, so we really don't have much of a wind chill. But again, it's already in itself very cold. Your out the door forecast. First thing you need to know, give yourself some extra time to defrost the windows. Now, 6 o'clock this morning, still in the 20s. As we head into 8 o'clock, I think some folks, especially inland, will still be in the 20s, but we'll start to see some locations creep into the 30s. And then by 10 o'clock, finally, we will be in the 40s for you. Now, we do end up getting into the 50s this afternoon, but it's still going to be a little bit of a chilly day. I'll have more details on what to expect for your Thursday ahead coming up, but let's get a check on those roads for your early morning commute.
Well, the roads are looking great, but something that might slow you down a little bit this morning is scraping all the frost off your windshield. I had to do it, so you're likely going to have to do it too, at about 5 minutes before you walk out the door. Now, looking at 17 right now, a little bit of frost actually on our camera at Mr. Joe White Avenue. Everything's looking okay. 17 at Lake Arrowhead at 544 and at the back 8. Now taking you over to 501. 501 at Waccamaw Pines and 501 at Singleton Ridge. Just a few cars on the roads right now and not seeing any major delays. Also, I-95 is looking just fine for your morning commute. There are a few slowdown spots due to construction. I'll have a lot more on that coming up in about 10 minutes.
Brittany, thank you. 5:32 right now. The choice between renting or owning your own home is being made a lot easier by skyrocketing rents here in Myrtle Beach. Local realtors say owning can actually be cheaper than renting in the current rental climate. Katrina Helmer joins us live once again from Carolina Forest. Katrina, a lot of people once again looking for some creative financing to buy a home. Does that exist?
There are actually a handful of loan options that don't even require a down payment. You just have to keep your options open. Doing so could actually drastically cut down on your monthly mortgage payment. Now, let's be clear. Not everyone is cut out for home ownership. And it's just really not for everyone. If you don't plan on living here very long, then you probably shouldn't buy a home. But a mortgage broker from Atlantic Bay Mortgage Company tells me if you're going to live in the Grand Strand and PD for at least 3 years, owning will save you thousands in the end. Experts predict 2015 is going to be the year for the first-time homebuyer for a few reasons. With rent on a steep rise, it's creating a demand. In turn, construction is booming. Also, lenders are loosening up on their criteria to get a loan. Here are a few loan options to consider. The USDA loan is a government-backed loan with absolutely no down payment. The loan is restricted by geography, but the magic line, anything west of 31. Another one to consider, the FHA loan if you want to live within the city limits. It has an income limit of around $70,000 and you can put as little as 3 to 5% down.
Up until this point has been such a transient area. People come here, they vacation here, it's looking as a secondary lifestyle. That's changing now because I think people are seeing that even if they do change to switch routes and go over into home ownership, they can sell their home, get their money back out of it, and it's a much more financially stable situation rather than renting at 100% loss.
If you think you want to make the change from renting to buying, find a mortgage broker and find a realtor. They'll lay out all the options and financial obligations for you. You can also find other loan options specifically for first-time home buyers on our website, WMBFnews.com. Reporting live in Carolina Forest, Katrina Helmer, WMBF News.
Governor Nikki Haley says she is proposing the biggest tax cut plan in state history. The three-part plan includes a gas tax increase, giving $3 billion to roads. The governor tried to get more lawmakers on board yesterday. Part 1 would cut income taxes at all levels by 30% over the next 10 years, from 7% to 5%. Part 2 of the plan calls for restructuring SCDOT, which means eliminating the elected Transportation Commission. Haley proposes raising the gas tax 10 cents over 3 years to fund fixing all roads and bridges.
I'd like taxes to remain as low as possible, and I know that that's not always doable in the real world, but if they have to increase, they should take it easy on the average person out there, especially in these times.
I think taxes ought to be a flat tax, no deductions, and then everybody pay equal tax.
Some folks against the plan say it has flaws, arguing a 2% state income tax would leave a tremendous hole in the budget. It will now be harder for thieves to sell your items to pawn shops. All shops in Horry County now have to go digital, meaning transaction records will be electronically submitted and put into a database. If something of yours is stolen, police have a better chance of getting it back before it's sold. Many stores were using handwritten slips before the change, but that created extra work for police officers and made it harder for them to track down stolen goods.
Every phone call 911 dispatchers take could mean life or death for someone. That's why they need to have the latest technology in their hands at all times. The call center in Horry County sends out every ambulance from 11 public safety agencies. Well, they're now using what's called the Premier One CAD system. Based on the type of emergency you're having or where you are, it allows the right number of first responders to be sent to you.
It won't make an ambulance go faster, but we can provide the information in a timely fashion and give them better information so that they can react more efficiently to what they're going to do when they arrive on the scene.
The 911 Center director says kinks are still being worked out, but hopes it'll help improve response times overall very soon. This morning, Myrtle Beach police need your help in figuring out who robbed a mall in Columbia. So why is that important to us here in the Grand Strand? Well, listen to this. Investigators think it could be the same person connected to robberies that happened at the Coastal Grand Mall here in Myrtle Beach. Both happened this month, with the most recent one being Saturday. Store employees say a man came into the stores, put a knife to their backs, and demanded cash. If you know who this might be, call Myrtle Beach Police right away.
A man is wanted for attacking a person at the Marion-Dillon County Board of Disabilities and Special Needs. Marion County Sheriff's deputies say 25-year-old Jamal Dukes ran away from the facility on Zion Road after the incident. He's now wanted for assault and battery. Dukes was last seen wearing a gray pullover, blue jeans, and green tennis shoes. Call the sheriff's office if you know where he might be. There's been a break-in a deadly moped crash that went cold. One man now facing charges. 21-year-old Tyshawn Johnson was killed when an SUV hit him along Highway 501 on the Waccamaw Pottery Bridge. This is video when it happened back in August of 2013. Well, Myrtle Beach police have now charged 28-year-old Carlos Roy with accessory after the fact of a felony obstruction of justice and more. He was arrested January 9th. Police say he was a passenger in the vehicle. The driver, however, has not been identified. Call Highway Patrol if you know anything about this case.
A Loris man has now pled guilty to second-degree murder and robbery with a dangerous weapon. This follows the murder of a clerk at a Tabor City convenience store. This back on January of 2011. Xavier Parker is one of 3 Loris men indicted by a grand jury. Part of his plea deal includes cooperating and providing information about Joshua Weatherspoon and Elias Collins. The length of Parker's sentence will be based on him following through with that cooperation agreement. 2 teens have been charged for robbing a bank in Murrells Inlet, believe it or not. It happened at the Conway National Bank on Highway 17 bypass back in October. We reported on it right here. Georgetown County deputies have arrested 17-year-old Jeffrey Riggin and 17-year-old Barrett Coker. Both are charged with armed robbery and conspiracy to commit armed robbery. They're being held at the Georgetown County Detention Center this morning.
Well, I'm digging deeper to get you answers after a local county has exploded with violence in a WMBF News special report. Right now, the Robeson County Sheriff's Office Homicide Division is actively working more than 60 cases. I'm investigating what's behind the rise in the murder rate in Robeson County and what's being done to fix it. You can catch the full report tonight on WMBF News at 6 p.m.
And this just into the newsroom, we're learning about a structure fire in a West Florence home that happened in Timmonsville overnight. West Florence Fire Rescue says crews got to that home you can see right now off Walker Swinton Road a little after 3 this morning. Fire was coming from the front of the house. You can see the smoke billowing out from that picture. Crews were able to contain the flames to the front living room and kitchen, but smoke, they say, has damaged the rest of the house. Luckily, everyone inside was able to get out safely without injuries. Folks, investigators say the fire was caused because a space heater was connected to an extension cord. Fire officials say space heaters should never be connected to extension cords and power strips because they use too much power.